So, Jordan, what on God's green earth is happening in Rhode Island?
Hey, Jank, I'm reporting from the Cottage Street Firehouse. They're actually kind of closing up shop here. There's fire trucks going off. Uh, what happened in Rhode Island is either very low turnout or every voter ran away from the Young Turks when we came to polling places. We've gone to about 7 or 8 polling places today, between 5 and 7 Eastern, which is kind of rush hour, people getting off work. We went to 5, and there were not long lines wherever we went. There didn't seem to be a lot of young people at the 2 locations where Brown University students in Providence could vote. When I talked to actual students there, normally Brown votes on campus, but they move them off campus about a 15-minute walk away. When I talked to students that actually came to the polling place, they told me Brown didn't inform them of where the polling places were. There was really no information other than Facebook groups telling people where to vote. Like you said,
Luckily, some of those were shut down yesterday.
Right, right. Several Bernie Sanders groups, as I reported. We're actually in Pawtucket, Rhode Island right now. 71,000 population, 41,890 people are registered to vote, and 19 polling places are open. In a normal year, before they cut, 2/3 of them, they'd have about 30 polling places open here. And 407 people voted here at the firehouse, which I was told, is not very high. So it's either that there was low turnout because many people, the low information voter that's not paying attention, might not even know their polling place was closed. So it's possible that they're just finding out today and they don't know where to look where their polls are open. I spoke with many people who didn't know that their polling places were closed and had to jump through hoops to make it. I will say I found it interesting that the wealthy area, which is kind of the east side of Providence, they had 3 polling places open within a mile and a half of each other. Whereas you go to some more low-income areas, polling places are very far from each other.
So, real quick there, you're on the ground in Rhode Island, Jordan. Any sense of why the authorities in Rhode Island would have made this curious decision to close 2/3 of the polling stations right before this election?
It's interesting, Jank. My instinct, because I talked to a couple lawmakers, Rhode Island's obviously a very small state, and it's very incestuous. Many the lawmakers I spoke to, they don't want to speak out against the governor here, who is a Hillary Clinton backer. They didn't want to speak out against the Secretary of State, who just appeared for Hillary Clinton. Ultimately, it's the Secretary of State's decision to cut these polls. They're saying that the levels of the polling levels open are similar to 2008, that primary, which was obviously close. I mean, there's 34 less polling places open this year than in 2008. Senator Jim Sheehan, a state senator here, he's one of the few who actually came out and supported Bernie Sanders. The establishment here is very, very much for Hillary Clinton. He told me it doesn't make any sense to cut the polls by 34 compared to 2008. Particularly when you've seen issues in other states leading up to this. The more cynical part of me does feel that the decision to cut the polls, they say budget cuts. I think it was. I personally think there's quite a lot of evidence to show they did it to suppress the vote.